Summer Oaks Boat Ramp, Wisconsin River, Lake Wisconsin, whatever you want to call it. It's actually between Lake Wisconsin and the dam, one of the only public areas. I've had a lot of success fishing here, but we're going to catch some panfish first and then use it as sacrificial bait to catch large catfish. We also might throw a lure if we have some time. I know there's smallies in here. I also know there's pike and other death fish in here. So let's see what we can get. It's a lot windier than I thought today, which is bad because I don't want it to be so windy. Last time I did this, I didn't actually get panfish. I did get panfish, but I also had a giant pike take this thing underneath the dock, which was not good because I got my string sliced by the giant pike. Well, let's see if we can get a panfish here, guys. I got one. Oh, this one's small, it looks like. I think this is a smallmouth. Yep, that's a smallmouth bass. Not what I was looking for. I wanted a bluegill to feed to the elder catfish lords. This would be a perfect size one to feed to the elder catfish lords, but wrong species. Smallmouth bass. Very small, you see. See a smallmouth. Let's try that again. There seems to be a lot of fish in here. And it's a good place to get some bait. I'm waiting for that. I'm gonna toss a small piece of worm out that way towards the dock as well. I don't know. Probability of getting smallmouth bass, pretty good. Probability of getting a panfish, pretty decent as well. Anything will realistically work. There's a lot of smallmouth around here and they're not all tiny. Although I will say most of them are pretty small. The far white pole has hit something, but the problem is I think it's big. I don't think it's a bait fish. It might be. I mean, bluegills can hit pretty hard, but as you can see, it's pretty strong. And that tends to not be a bait fish. Now, it's also trapped on that log. There we go. Okay, I need to tighten the drag. I can feel the fish fighting. That doesn't feel that big. It's probably a bluegill. If it is, though, if it is, oh, that is a fat bluegill. Yep, that's gonna be Baitu number 1. That is a very fat bluegill. It's about 8 inches, but that's gonna be pure flathead bait. I know some of you like bluegill like this for food and would love to eat a bluegill like this, an 8-inch bluegill, but they make great elder catfish bait. As you can see, it's very lively. We're just gonna toss it all the way out there, then bring it back, and hopefully a big cat will want this half-pound bluegill as food. All right, my bait harvesting today has not been so successful. Hooked 2 bluegills, only brought up 1, got that tiny smallie. But now I'm after bigger fish. I'm just gonna toss this curly-tailed grub in this near water and hopefully we can get something. Last time, like, there was a pike right under the dock, I think, but he does not seem to be here today. Otherwise, he would actually go ahead and grab it. I'm gonna reel this like right by the dock. If he's here, he'll bite it, but I don't think he's here. That over there is a hit. Looks like a mighty hit though. Probably a drum or something. That doesn't look like a bluegill very much. Let's see what it is. It's probably a drum, which is perfect because I do need a sacrificial cut bait. I got 1 live bait, but I could use a cut bait. This one does not feel too heavy. Oh, okay, never mind. It feels a little heavier than I thought. I think it's a drum. I need a smaller drum. I don't need a big one. Could be a small carp as well, or it could just be, yeah, it is a drum. It's a little bigger than I want though. I want a small one. This one's a little big. I could use the head, but I would kind of kill the purpose of it. I think I'm gonna let this one go and wait for another one. Actually, not a bad cut bait size drum, but looking for something slightly smaller. See you, drum. It's only been out there for about 5 minutes. I don't think getting cut bait here is gonna be too hard. So we'll just keep launching out there and hoping to get cut bait. If I catch a couple more of those size, I'm just gonna use one of them most likely, because they're not too bad. I just don't wanna, I wanna cut something much smaller because it's easier to cut something that's smaller. Pretty sure something's on that. Yeah, see the line's definitely moving here. Let's see what it is. Probably just another drum, in my opinion. Oh, it's heavier. What is it? It's definitely heavier. Could just be a bigger drum, which is probably the case. Could be a flathead though, or a channel, or even a carp. It seems really, well, no, if it's a drum, it's just a bigger drum. There seems to be a lot of these. Yep, it's just a bigger sheep's head. Freshwater drum, man. These are biting like crazy, but I need a smaller one. It's kind of ridiculous. I just threw it out like again and I already got a bite. They are so fierce out there, but this one does not feel small. There's like a colony of drum out there, I swear. So I just threw it like 2 seconds more. Is that a drum? That's another drum. It's also about the same size or slightly bigger, so I can't use it. But fish are biting like crazy right now. All right, see you, drum. I'm gonna launch one sideways from the dock. So, yeah, definitely going to launch towards that tree over there. It's still about, you know, like you might think that it's not very deep here, but it's really like 8-9 feet of water here. So plenty of water for a large fish to bite. My pole on the dock is consistently ringing, which means it probably has a hook on it. It probably has a fish on the hook. I don't know which fish, but I'm hoping that it's viable as a bait fish. I think it probably is. Hard to tell though. But yeah, it feels good to have another thing on the hook. Hopefully not a giant drum or even a big one. I hope it's a small drum if it is a drum, but that fish does not feel too small actually. Actually, I can't tell. It's not super large either, but it's probably not super small. It's another drum, just like the other ones. Do I just use it as cut bait or do I wait for something smaller? I think I'm gonna just let this one go and wait for the next one. This one is a little bigger as well. Unless it just gut hooked, then I'm just gonna use it. All right, drum. All right, fish. See ya. That pole is waving after dark. Pole's definitely waving a bit. See that? Yep, that's a fish. Doesn't seem like a big one though. If it was a catfish, it would have gone insane, but I might have to cut this because I actually need cut bait. This feels big though. I don't want to cut it, but it's like I don't have any worms left. It's probably just another stinking drum. Yep, red eyes. This might actually even be the biggest one out of all of them. It is. I don't want to cut it. Oh, I still have the worm. Okay, the drum didn't actually take the worm. All right, I don't have to cut it. Just another drum. Come on, I need smaller ones. These guys are lucky they're just this big. Otherwise, they'd be cut bait. See you, drum. Something is making that bluegill really nervous. Maybe it's some big fish, or maybe it's just moving because it's nightfall. It's right around the drop-off area out there. See, like it's slightly moving, so there might be a big fish making it nervous at night. They usually don't move at night that much. I got a seriously big fish here. Like, the bluegill isn't going to do that. That could be a walleye or it could be a flatty. Oh, that's a big fish. That is a seriously big one. That is not a bluegill. Well, maybe it's not. Oh, I think it fell off. I think the big fish fell off. Is bluegill still alive? Yeah, it's still alive and kicking. Fortunately for Mr. Bluegill, he had to be sacrificed. I ran out of worm bait, so I'm cutting him in 3 to have 3 baits. He's the only bluegill I got today. Probably because I haven't figured out this fishing for bluegill thing here yet. But just slightly in front of us, basically, at the drop-off point, probably like 12, 13 feet of water there. Enough easily for a big cat tonight. Something is bending that pole way out there. It's probably a gar though, unfortunately. There's something on the pole. I hope it's a flathead. But, oh, it's a heavy fish. And now it's off. Yeah, it's probably a gar. Because that's what they do. That pole right there is continuing to bend, but based on the action and previous stuff, I'm almost always assuming it's a gar. It's a... Damn, this is bigger than I thought. But gars do feel like, once I do that, once he feels the resistance, it just lets go. Gars do not hook. Look at that crazy ass pole. That is not a gar. That's going to be a gato fish. That is the first non-gar fish of the night. It's almost midnight. I think I'm gonna have to stay around here a little bit more to get more catfish. I think the gar is a finally cooled off a little bit, and I think that is probably a channel catfish. Oh man, they're finally here. Maybe they'll start biting more now. Could use one or two more, but I can't stay that much longer. But finally, I got a non-gar fish. Halla freaking Luya. It's not a huge one, I don't think. Doesn't feel like a huge one. Hope it's a flathead. Can't tell from this range, but I think it's a channel. Just by looking at it, I'm pretty sure it's a channel catfish. Picked up some cut bait. Flatheads will pick up cut as well. Got plenty of flatheads pick up cut bait. But I'm pretty sure this one's a channel, probably 6-7 pounds it looks like. The ones I catch here are usually bigger than 6-7 pounds, but oh, it's a little bigger than 6, maybe like 10. But yeah, channel gato fish. Man, they've been rare around here. Maybe like 10 pounds or so. Very, very nice fish. Big head, kind of like a mating bull type of catfish. Okay, channel gato fish. Okay, I need to go get my net, because I wasn't really expecting too much after failing for so long. But I do need to get my net now that I actually have a fish. I don't want him to get off. So my net is way back there, which I can just deal with right now. And yeah, looks like the catfish might finally be coming in, which is good. Channel catfish. Oh man, this place usually is pretty good for catfish, honestly. It's just that I haven't been catching too many of them here because of the freaking gar that's been constantly eating all my bait. All right, gotta just get this net set up. And this catfish isn't going away, it's not powerful enough. It's probably like 10 pounds or so. But channel catfish, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'm hoping the other baits start ringing and they're not gar. Because gar are kind of crappy, but once the channels start biting, they do usually continue biting for a little while. But it's just been much, much later than what I want. That is a channel catfish. Flatheads and gar bites are kind of alike, but flatheads usually stick on, whereas gar always pop off because of their bony mouths. But anyways, it's a channel cat. And I've been dealing with so many gar bites tonight. It's a good sized channel catfish. It's been a while since I've caught a good one, because I haven't really fished Madison that much this year, but it's always a kind of a challenge getting them in. Mainly because I'm by myself. Had someone to help me, this wouldn't be all that big of a deal. It's a little bit, it's like 12, 13 pounds maybe. It's a little bit bigger than when I first thought, but pretty nice. Channel catfish, get a load of that one, channel. Nice catfish, 10 pounds. Not too much, I could use it as a weight if it wasn't so dang slippery. But it's been through a lot, I guess. So we're gonna have to let it go. At the boat ramp, of course. Just nice, very, very nice slide into the water for the catfish. As soon as it feels the water, it's gonna want to go out. There it goes, there it goes. Fun trip. In case you were wondering, the fish I was talking about was the gar. I've never really had that much luck with catfish when there are some gar around. I don't think they're actually really aggressive towards the catfish, but I did notice there were relatively much fewer minnows this year than last year, and much fewer blue eels and other bait fish as well. So the gar might be taking a toll on those. Without the food source there, the catfish may just not be coming in. So unfortunately, I was not able to acquire a big catfish. Well, I got like one decent sized one, but I'm pretty sure all those things that were biting and letting go were actually gar. Not a huge fan of fishing for gar at night. There's no alligator gars in Wisconsin. There's only short nose and long nose, and I'm not really that interested in catching those. Every once in a while I'll get lucky and hook one, but usually they never hook because of their bony mouths. So yeah, that place might not be so good right now because of the gars. I will try later in the year. You know, the thing is, the water isn't any lower than it was this time last year when I went, but the river flow seems to be a lot slower, and that could have something to do with the dam opening and shutting, and that's probably why the gar are there this year and not last year. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Feel free to ask me any questions, and I will see you guys later.